Hello and welcome to another video. You may have heard about the magic ladder. Well, we're going to use some magic ladder strategies today to answer these questions. You would say, why would I need to do this in order to do this? Well, sometimes things get a little bit complicated and you're using these strategies. I learned this when I was in elementary school and it has stuck with me and I still use it till today because somehow it just saves you from complicated trouble. So I chose simple numbers because these numbers are easy for us to work with, but you want to learn the principle, and that's what we're going to do. So what does a magic ladder do? It helps you find the greatest common factor and the least common multiple of a set of numbers or even a fraction. It actually helps you solve a fraction. Firstly, let me show you what to do with a magic ladder. Okay. Now, let's say we're trying to solve this problem, but it doesn't have to be this problem. But I'm just showing you, I'm going to use these numbers to answer these questions. Okay, so let's use the magic ladder. The first thing you want to do is, you want to divide. Think of the smallest prime number that will divide 12 and also divide 30. I can tell you, that number is 2. So when you divide this, you're going to get 6 and 15. You think of the next prime number. Remember, it has to be a prime number, okay? If you don't use a prime number, you might get stuck soon. The next prime number that divides 6 and 15, it's 3. So you're left with 5, with 2 rather. You're left with 2 and 5. Okay. Now, these two are co-primes. The term co-primes means that the two numbers cannot be divided by anything other than itself and 1. In that case, not that they are actually primes, but there's no common factor. Let's just put it that way. There's no common factor that could divide both of these. Okay, so that's where our calculation ends, and I can tell you by this simple 2 steps you have taken, you have answered 3 questions. You have answered the question of the greatest common factor. So we could actually go here and say that the greatest common factor of 12 and 30 is 2 times 3, which are the 2 numbers on the side. Let me use this to trace them. So this is 2 and this is 3. And that's your greatest common factor. And the answer there is 6. You also know the least common multiple. Okay? The least common multiple in this case will be the product of these numbers. You see? It looks like an L. It will be 2 times 3 times 2 times 5. If you multiply these numbers out, 2 times 3 times 2 times 5, you're going to get 6 times 10, which is 60. So right now, you know that the least common multiple of 12 and 30 is, let me rewrite this. I think I just overwrote on the 1. Okay, so this is 12. Okay, the least common factor of 12 and 30 is 60. And how does it help us solve this? Well, 12 divided by 30, how do we go into the answer? All you just have to do is, what is the greatest common factor? It's 6. So I'm just going to divide this by 6, divide this by 6, and my answer is going to be these 2 numbers. Okay, so that's going to be 2 over 5. So, like I said, this table solves many questions for you. The first one is, it tells you the simplest form of a fraction involving 12 and 30. It also tells you the greatest common factor. It also tells you the least common multiple. So 3 questions have been answered just by taking these 2 steps. You can simplify this fraction You can pick your answer from the table. It's 2 over 5 if this was 12 over 30. Okay, so that's the advantage. Let's take a situation where we have 3 numbers. Oh, we can also use this first table to answer this, because at this point what you want to do is rewrite. If you want to add these two fractions, you want to use the least common multiple. So what you're going to tell yourself is, I'm actually going to rewrite this 5 over 12 so that it will be something over 60. So I'm going to change this to 60. But if I need to change this to, so there are so many ways people solve fractions, okay, especially adding or subtracting fractions. My favorite way is to play with numbers and say, I'm going to rewrite 5 over 12 so that it is something divided by 60. So right now, I'm going to change 12 to 60. And what would I do to change 12 to 60? I have to multiply it by 5. That's the number on this side. So if you look at it, if you want to do your, you just multiply 5 by 12, you get 60. That's what you have, okay? And whatever that number is, because you multiply 12 by 5, you have to multiply the top also by 5. So that gives you 25 over 60. And then plus, you want to change this to 60. This is obvious. You have to multiply 30 by 2, which you can find on this side. So I'm just using this simple example. In case it gets complicated, just know that you pick this number, the final number, to multiply that one. So this is going to be 2 times 30, and that's going to be 60. So we're going to write 60 also here. And on top of it, because you multiplied the bottom by 2, you have to multiply the top by 2. So this is going to be 14. So your final answer is going to be 39 over 60, which you can further simplify to give you 11 over 20. Okay, so if you simplify this, your final answer is going to be not 11, 13 over 20. So 13 over 20 is the answer to this sum of fractions. Okay, what if you don't have 2 numbers, you get 3 numbers? What do? I chose these numbers because there's usually a problem that arises. And the problem that arises is that because you have one of the numbers as the least common multiple of 2, for example, 24 is the least common multiple of 12 and 24, it usually creates a problem. Let's see what the problem is. So let's start with the smallest number. 2, we'll divide this into 4, this will be 6, and this will be 12. You can see, we divide again by 2, we get 2, we get 3, and we get 6. Now, there's a problem now because notice that 8 is also the least common multiple of this. So, are we supposed to stop here? What is the greatest common factor? Right now, because there is no number that will divide all 3, we have to stop. Okay? You have to stop here, so I'm going to retrace this and say this is 2, this is 2. So the greatest common factor, you know what? I'm going to write it under here. There's one more step. We're going to write the greatest common factor, because we've arrived at that, will be equal to 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. But what is the least common multiple? Well, we cannot stop at this point. Because if you stop here, your answer is going to be wrong. Because the least common multiple of 8, 12, and 24 is not 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 6. That's going to be a huge number. So what you want to do, because there's a factor that is common, at least not between this and this, but between this and this, once you have any 2 numbers that there's a common factor, you have to divide and ignore the number that is not divisible. Once you have divisibility between any 2, so I'm going to write again another 2. Then this becomes 1. I'm going to ignore this and just write it and rewrite this as 3. Because 2, you see, 2 divided by 2 gives you 1. 2 divided by 3, you just ignore it. You just drop the number. And then 6 divided by 2 will now give you 3. So now you have a common number, you have to use 3 again. Now that gives us 1. You just drop this 1, you ignore it. If it's not divisible, just ignore, skip it. This one will become 1, this becomes 1. So now we are done. So the least common multiple is now all of these numbers. The first 2 make up the greatest common factor. The last, all of them, remember they were supposed to go this way, but we just stop, okay? So don't go this way until you find out that there are no common factors between any 2 terms. That's the only thing that you have to look out for when you have 3 terms. See, if it was just 2, we wouldn't have this problem. But when you have 3 terms or 3 numbers you're dealing with, you want to make sure that you keep dividing until there are no common divisors for 2 terms. So what we have now would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So our least common multiple is going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, which gives us 24. So now we have a least common multiple. Okay, so and with that, that's what you need. Why do you need the least common multiple? You can see two occasions now. Firstly, you need it when you're adding or subtracting fractions. You need the least common multiple. You need to know it. The second one is when you want to rearrange numbers in order of magnitude. You get questions like that where they say arrange these fractions from the smallest to the greatest or from the greatest to the smallest. So at this point, how do we rearrange these numbers so that we know which one is the greatest? Well, we know the least common multiple. It is 24. Okay? So we're going to try to rewrite all of these expressions and say that what we have has to be, everything has to be over 24, over 24, over 24. This one is already over 24, okay? So the number is going to be 10. But we need to make this over 24. So if you want to change 12 to 24, you multiply it by 2. So this is going to be 12 times 2 gives you 24. You have to multiply the top also by 24. What you do to the bottom, you do to the top. What you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So that's going to be 5 times 2, that gives you 10. For 8, you have to change 8 to 24. Why are we using 24? Because it's the least common multiple. So what would you do to 8 to get 24? You multiply it by 3. You have to do the same thing to the top. You multiply this by 3. So what would it be? It would be 3 times 3, 9. So the way you see it, these two fractions are what you call, these two are called equivalent fractions. Okay? Because when you write them in terms of their LCMs, they'll be equal. Or if you punch it in a calculator, you get exactly the same answer. That's the meaning of equivalent fraction. It also means when you write it in the simplest form, you'll get the same answer. 5 over 12 is in the simplest form. You can't simplify this because there's no common factor between 5 and 12. But this has a common factor of 2. When you use it, you're going to end up with 5 over 12, which is what we get in 5 over 12. Or we don't have 5 over 12 on the table. Okay, but that's what you would get. So that's why the two answers are the same, and this gives you 9 over 24. So now they are already arranged in order of from least to the greatest. So there's no need to rearrange anything. But if our answers were different, you just need to consider the top and know which one to put where, depending on which is bigger. So this is the least, and this is the greatest. So that's how to use magic ladders. When numbers become a bit more complicated, you know what? I think I'm just going to take one more example. I'm going to show you why the magic ladder is a very good tool. Let's say you're given two numbers. You're given the numbers 24 and 40, and you're told to find the least common multiple or the greatest common factor. Well, I would just quickly write this. I would write 2. I get 12 and 20. I'll write 2 again. I'll get 6 and 10. I'll write 2 again. I'll get 3 and 5. And my calculation is done. It simply means that my greatest common factor is 2 times 2 times 2. It gives me 8. Okay? And my least common multiple is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. 3 and 5 are co-primes, so there's nothing you can do. You just stop. So it's going to be 8 times 15. 8 times 15 is 80 plus 40, that's 120. That's the least common multiple of 24 and 40. And if I got a fraction like this, 24 over 40, I'm just going to divide by 8 because that's what I get on this side. Divide by 8, divide by 8. Your answer is going to be 3 over 5, which is this. See, I didn't need to do this because the answer is already here. Okay, and if I have fractions to arrange where the denominators are 24 and 40, I just need to write them out. Okay, I just need to write, let's say I had, say 7 over 24 compared to 13 over 40, and they tell me which of the fractions is bigger. Well, I just quickly go here and I say, I need to make this up to 120. What do I need to multiply 24 by to get 120? It's 5. So that's it, that's this number. So I just multiply this by 5, that gives me 35 over 120. And then I go, what do I need to multiply this by? I need to multiply it by 3 because that's this number. So I multiply the top also by 3 and it's going to give me 39 over 120. Now I know that 13 over 40 is bigger than 7 over 24. I hope you learned something. If you did, make sure you give this video a like. Make sure you leave a positive comment in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video. Never stop learning, because those who stop learning have stopped living.